Coming up on Pop Mockers, special guest James Kennison. Facebook police tackle the California drought. The worst animated films ever. And this just in, creationist Ken Ham and Bill Nye the Science Guy got together to finally answer the age-old question, what happens when two people who have staked their entire careers on the fact that the other guy is wrong have a debate? Yeah, probably nothing.
You're listening to the Pop Mockers Comedy Podcast. And here is your host, Chris Cowan.
Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us once again for yet another episode of Pop Mockers, your weekly report on the gradual decay of society. My name is Chris Cowan, as you heard, and joining me today, as usual, is
Chris Quant.
Chris Quant.
How's it going?
And as a special guest today, we have the one, the only, James Kennison.
Oh.
Say hi, James.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Chris Cowan.
That sounds scripted.
I'm reading it off the script. Sorry.
Okay.
Should I not do that?
No, you
Okay.
shouldn't. Put that away. I told you not to use that. This is episode 18, brought to you the week of February 10th, year of our Lord 2014. Nate Henderson is not joining us this week, as he usually does, and due to agreements we made after previous episodes, we will not be engaging in basically talking behind his back.
Trashing his character, his family's character.
Exactly.
Yes.
But James, I'm super stoked to have you join us. I've been listening to your podcasts since forever. For those who don't know James, I don't know how you found our podcast without finding his, because he's done all kinds of great podcasts. Obviously, you're known best for Nobody's Listening, which is a podcast that actually has a lot of people listening. And you've taken a break from a lot of your other podcasts, but are doing a new podcast right now that I'm listening to and loving, called Made My Day Podcast. Do you want to talk just a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's just a show I had an idea for when I was at a place doing a thing, filling up something with gas, probably a car, and and I heard a
maybe
song.
a child, who knows?
Yeah. I heard a song playing on a stereo that I hated, and then a guy next to me in another car turned up Milli Vanilli, Don't Forget My Number, super loud, and drowned out the hateful stuff. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. That made my day. And I've been wanting a new show idea, especially since I've recently kind of recovered from some pretty dark depression in my life that, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. I was like, dude, I'm going to start focusing on the one thing out of every single day, no matter how hard I have to dig, to find the one thing that made every day worth it. And we're 11 episodes in, and doing mighty fine.
Yeah.
Having good response. A lot of people dealing with some of the same struggles I have had, and we're just helping each other out. It's good stuff. Check it out at Made My Day Cast, or no, I'm sorry, mmdcast.com.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yep, I've been listening to it. It's great. It's good for, I can see the benefit for people who've struggled with depression, but I can see the benefit for people, who haven't, and just it's a good reminder just to look at the bright side of each day and focus on the good things and focus on the positives. It's great. It's funny. It's touching. It's made me laugh, made me cry. It's great. So really happy to have you on here and happy to have you podcasting again. So we're going to kick things off with the first segment of our show, and that is Pop Drops. This is the part of the show where we just drop a little nugget, maybe about pop culture, maybe about our life. Who knows?
You never know.
Who knows? James, since you're our guest, you get to kick things off. What's your pop drop?
I knew it. Okay, so pop culture, right? So I went with that. And recently there's been this movie that Disney has eked out, and it hasn't really done very well. Not many people have heard of it. It's called Frozen. You guys probably don't even know what I'm talking
Vague
about.
reference, but we'll try and pull it up on Google here.
Wasn't that one of the X-Men? Is that an X-Men spinoff?
It is
Marvel now.
not. It's about a girl who has magic powers. I don't want to give too much away because I know nobody has seen it. But anyway, there's a song in it, and it's "Let It Go, Let It Go." It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's touching. It's moving. It's powerful. It's animated wonderfully. It's just awesome. You need to go see it if you haven't. But what it's done is it's sparked this trend that I haven't seen in previous, especially Disney films.
Yeah.
Where little girls, from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10, even grown women, but I'm going to focus on the young ladies.
I'll talk about the grown woman in a second.
Well, they're singing this song with just unbridled passion into microphones. There's even a set of twins that the dad is kind of seen together and having them singing. And I just haven't seen this ever. And I love it. There hasn't been a version or a cover of it that I haven't appreciated, whether the words are completely ununderstandable because the kid's just barely 2, or, again, the 4-year-old twins or a 9-year-old girl that sounds like she's 25. And I've also been in awe of how the movie, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's took itself seriously, and stopped trying to be as cute as like Rapunzel or whatever. But it has raised the age of acceptable princess worship in girls. You know what I'm saying? My daughter had done away with them. Princesses are gross. I'm 9, blah, blah. Dude, now she's all about Frozen and the princess thing.
Nice.
Maybe it's just because she was a queen, the main character did do that. But it's awesome. It's a cool thing. Maybe I'm supposed to say bad things about it, like, because you said the diminishment of popular culture or whatever at the beginning. So let me try to.
It's okay to look at the bright side too.
You brought a shining light. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I can fix it. I can just say Frozen was a terrible movie, and these girls are being negatively influenced by the culture of Disney, which is trying to rob parents of the rights to parent their own children.
There you go.
And that Little Mermaid was basically a story that said, just obey your dad and all your dreams will come true if you talk to a witch. There we go.
Good job. No, it's funny you would say that because it has influenced. It's become trendy with the full grown woman as well. At least in my household, my wife actually loves that song. I still haven't seen that movie, but she saw that movie with one of my boys, and she's like addicted to it. She's like, I don't know what it is. I'm addicted to it. I keep playing it all the time. And now all my kids are boys, and they're starting to sing it.
And now all your kids are boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it was, we had a controversial
you took them to the
operation
movie,
on
and
one
now
of them.
they're all boys.
It's California. This is acceptable here.
Okay.
They can choose to be whatever they want.
It's a new
Disney.
world.
It's Disney.
So all my kids are boys, and it's really cute when they sing it up until they get to the line that's like, I'm the queen of isolation. I'm like, okay, it's not cute anymore. Stop singing that.
I'm amazed at how easy it is to pick up because my kids have seen it along with my wife. My wife actually walked out and said, "Best movie I've ever seen in my life, hands down." I was like, "What? It's a cartoon.
Best movie ever
she's ever seen." She's
That's
just walked out,
blasphemy.
hands down. But they've seen it once, and my kids, the song came on the radio, and they're
They know all the
singing
words.
it. They have the hook and everything. And I'm like,
Wow.
How do you know this? And my son's like, he's just, Dad, we saw it on the movie. Okay. And the same thing. Stop singing it. Okay, you don't have to sing the Princess.
No, my wife is playing it, finding it on YouTube and playing it all the time. And my youngest son, who's not even 2 yet, is he can't even put together 3 words, but he does when he says let it go, and he wants to listen to that song. So I don't know. There's something about that song. It's witchcraft.
Brilliant. It is.
It's the best kind.
Yeah. Quant, you want to go next?
Yeah. Notice a trend here on Facebook. And with advertising or with articles, you always want to have a catchy headline, right? You always want to get something that grabs people's eyes.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, and especially on Facebook, bringing it back to Facebook, because we always do, that there's been a trend lately that is trying to get you to read an article. And it's the something, and then I saw this,
Yeah, it's this shocking. This will shock you.
Yeah, this will shock you. I thought sharks were docile house pets until I read this. You know, I thought it was okay to shampoo my hair until I saw this, and it's just it's overplayed.
Oh yeah,
it's a bit overplayed,
but it works,
and it's starting to get on my nerves just a little bit.
It works. That's why they do it.
I know, but now I've refused to click on those.
It's like those ads on the sidebar in Facebook that are like, this one weird trick will make you lose 100 pounds in 3 days.
No, I don't begrudge him for it.
Figures out how to whiten teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Dennis Hater.
So it's just gotten to the point where, all right, you've made your point. Find another way to grab my attention because I'm bored with you now.
I'm above all that.
This is actually this was an actual one. Something absolutely terrible happened to the internet. Here's why. The internet? What? What's
that's actually true. That's the whole.
I know it's the whole.
Yeah,
net
go
streaming
into that,
or whatever.
Yeah. Net neutrality. Nice.
Oh yeah.
I've actually got a couple, and one of yours reminded me of one, and then I just forgot it. So I guess I'll have to skip that.
Oh, hang on.
What? Oh, was that the?
You said an
I said
this. This is my little. For those of you that didn't hear the last podcast, Cowan asked that Nate and I keep him accountable if he says or
Yeah.
And if you're not seeing us on the web here, I'm sitting across. Normally I'm standing right next to Cowan, and I can usually just slap him upside the head if he says or But I've come up with another way, Cowan, and surprised. You didn't know this was coming. I'm going to start buzzing you.
Oh, great. That's not going to be obnoxious.
You're going to up your game.
Yeah. How do you like that? I just start right off with that.
Yeah.
And
you have the power to make this not obnoxious, by the way.
Okay, but
only you.
But it's distracting, and it's making me forget even more
what I
was trying to remember. And it was a good one too. Oh, that's right. Talking about annoying Facebook trends. Don't make the noise.
Speaking
of
annoying,
I'm allowed an occasional
That's all right. Go ahead.
So recently we posted on our Pop Mockers fan page and also tweeted it was a picture of Morpheus from The Matrix.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the caption was, "What if I told you bit strips are not funny?" I posted that and subsequently got a response from bit strips.
Oh, from actual what?
They have a search where they look for bit strips keywords and stuff. And so, what I did was I posted it with that. I posted that picture that had that caption, and then my comment was when I posted it, "Bit strips make me want to take the blue pill." And so bit strips replied and said, "There's a bit strip for that." And then sent a link to because I guess they have some Morpheus bit strip cartoon. And I hate bit strips. And I think we've talked about this before on the podcast.
We have.
But I hate bit strips. How do you feel about bit strips, James?
Well, here's the thing. The
answer is you hate them.
Introduced to them through the post you were mentioning now.
Oh, really?
I had seen them, created and all this, and I had never
you are lucky.
Laughed at a single one. I realized they were somehow customizable and everybody knew about it but me. Oh. But yeah, and then I realized you had to sign up for an account to go do it, because I was like, I'm gonna make some and make fun of them.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna make them pooping all over each other or something. And I'm sure that would be completely original, by the way. But right. I saw I had to sign up or attach it to my Facebook, and I'm like, no, I just got Farmville taken care of from 2003.
Just that.
I'm not doing this. So no, that's
we noticed that it was the ultimate weight loss device was your Bitstrip profile. People, you're like, they're not
your Bitstrip profile.
Not yours.
You don't have it
specifically, but
like no,
people
it was always funny because everybody's skinnier. They don't have any pimples or whatever. All their blemishes are missing when they're converted into a Bitstrip. So anyways, Bitstrip replied to mine and said, "Hey, there's a cartoon for that." And I actually replied, "Yeah, but is it funny?" With the obvious answer being no. And maybe that was a little mean, But it's not as mean if it's to a corporation, right?
No, not at all.
It doesn't count as mean.
It is because it's probably 3 little Indian guys in India, and they put all their money into it, and they're just counting on.
You mean
this thing
Native
taking
Americans
off
from
and
Native
being bought
America.
by Google.
Yeah,
and you
that's
just
probably
crushed their dreams.
Completely crushed.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's my pop.
There's a bit strip for that, by the way.
Jeez, I'm sure there is.
Catchphrase.
They're not funny. They're not original.
So tell me real quick, do people make them themselves, or are there pre-existing ones and you just plug in your own little face to it? Or?
For the most part, it's pre-existing. It's completely pre-existing, and they're just putting their avatar in there.
Because ones I've seen seem like they're all in jokes between the person in the first panel and the first person represented in the second panel.
Yeah.
It's like Bobby and Billy ate too many beans, and you're like,
Right.
I'm missing something there.
Well, so there's two parts of that. One is there's a lot of pre-written jokes that a lot of people will use, so that you're basically just inserting your face and maybe a friend's face in there. But you can edit the text to say something else, and you can edit it a little bit. But it's as you said, it's inside jokes or just stuff that isn't funny. It's just not. It's not funny. Stop doing bit strips.
Yeah.
So that's
sad because it seems like it had. I mean, the idea has potential, but it's too much power. It's like MySpace was. Too much power over their pages, and they turned into horrible GIF-ridden.
Yeah.
Monstrosities.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I had a friend who I made fun of on MySpace because his entire profile, this was a guy who was like engaged to be married, but his profile was a total girl profile because it had all kinds of sentimental, sparkly gifs, and it was disgusting. So I'm glad MySpace is dead, even though it's pretending to make a comeback.
I still haven't got that whole poke somebody thing yet. That's
in Facebook. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Feel uncomfortable about that.
I'm not okay with that. I'm just not okay. James, don't do that.
That's good.
One other thing I wanted to drop out there is I'm starting a new podcast. So see you guys. I'm out of here. No, I'm starting. I'm starting a brand new podcast, and this is actually something I'm super stoked about because I've been wanting to get my wife to podcast with me for years, and she just hasn't been that interested in it, even though she's the one who talks way more than I do. And that's not saying anything bad. She's a woman. That's what women do. And I'm not sexist
Colin.
for saying that. That's statistically accurate. But I've been trying to get her to do a podcast with me for the longest time, and finally I struck on an idea that we both really liked for a podcast. And so the podcast is The Truth About Special Needs. You can find it at specialneedspodcast.com. Hopefully it'll be up by the time that this podcast is posted.
I was stoked. I went to listen to the other day, and
it's not live yet
quite there
as of this recording, but it will hopefully by the time this recording is posted. We've recorded a couple episodes already, and I think it's going to be good. It's basically talking about what it's like to raise a special needs kid, and just kind of the behind the scenes stuff that maybe people don't think about, and just kind of the issues that face special families. So that's what we're doing. So pretty stoked about that.
It's a great idea, by the way.
I predict a lot of people will be very interested in that.
Yeah, well, that's
because people that are just outside of the mainstream, anybody for that matter, they typically feel pretty dang alone. And when they jump on iTunes and find a podcast talking about what they assume nobody would ever talk about, they love it. So good deal.
Cool. Well, that's what I'm thinking. So specialneedspodcast.com, little plug there, because I can't let an episode go without some additional self promo happening.
I'm actually, if I can, I'm going to take a moment and just say I'm starting a new show. It'll be actually tomorrow night will be the first one.
Oh, really?
It'll be the Bit Strip podcast. So
Shut up.
You guys will guest, and I stole that joke.
Get off
from
my
Christopher
phone.
Battles in the chat room. So
Fantastic.
Nice. This is a good time to say hello to all our chat room participants. We've got a whole bunch of guests and viewers whose names I do not know, but I do see Ian, Joe Thomas and Christopher Battles, of course, as we mentioned. And I saw Matt Messer in there. And so thank you guys for joining us. You are awesome.
Chat room's
and I know
blowing
you're
up.
not here for us. You're here for James, and I'm still okay with
Of course. Speaking of shameless self-promotion, James, I'm going to get you to see if I can get you to record an audio soundbite for us before we're done here. I don't know if you've heard of the phenomenon that is the hashtag Instagram pan, but it's going to sweep the internet. Just you wait. You'll have
Hashtag Instagram what?
Instagram pan.
PAN.
PAN. Yes.
Okay.
So would you actually? Let's just do it now. Hey James, can I get you to say my name is James Kennison, and I too am a fan of the hashtag Instagram pan.
Hi, my name is James Kennison, and I too am a fan of the hashtag Instagram pan.
Very good.
That sounded great. That sounded like a professional.
That was a professional
voiceover right there.
So another fan.
So in case you don't know, Instagram pan is sort of like an adults only kind of part of the internet. That's no, Quan, you got to explain what it is now.
It's for those of you who've been listening, they know about it. But I have a goal this year. I have a ordinary pan that I am taking pictures of and putting on Instagram. Therefore, Instagram pan, hashtag Instagram pan.
It's going to be the new planking.
It's going to be huge. No, my goal is by the end of the year is to get a retweet from Jimmy Fallon and to have Will Ferrell take his picture with the hashtag Instagram pan. So James, you have helped to further the ball down the Instagram pan football field.
Okay, good.
Don't you feel special now?
I do, since there was just one ball mentioned. I was worried for a second there.
So we're going to make this a thing. We are going to make this a thing. And since Cowan had his shameless self-promotion, I will not quite as noble as yours, but
yeah,
still.
I was going to say I've never heard a goal quite so simultaneously lofty and completely
low, asinine. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So kudos for that.
You know what? Somebody's got to reach for the basement.
And we're going to move on to our next segment, which is
Call it jumbo shrimp. I'm bored at home, just clipping my toenails. Anybody want to do anything tonight? I totally love strawberries.
Going swimming in my new Speedo. I know you guys are jealous. LOL.
Anybody want to join my hobby?
Facebook Police. This, of course, is the part of the show where we issue citations for Facebook wrongdoings.
Suckers.
In some cases, it's negligence. In some cases, it's a misdemeanor. And in some cases, it's an out-and-out felony. This week, I think we're a little bit lighter. What would you say, Quan?
It's a little bit lighter.
Quan found this one.
It's a bit, yeah, you could take it or leave it, but I thought it was pretty funny. I actually was bored at home clipping my toenails and thought, this will probably work. Speaking of that, actually I was coming down here, speaking of felonies though, we were driving here and on the freeway, a car passed me, was probably a good, maybe half mile ahead of me, and I could smell the weed coming out of this car.
Oh, wow.
Like it wasn't even subtle. It was like our car was just full of this contact high of,
well, I was rushing home to get here before you got here. So.
It was impressive, your driving skills being that high. It was unbelievable. I'm like, oh, please let him drive by a cop. I want to see what happens. But it was, I've never smelled that strong.
Wow. That
going 70 miles an hour down the freeway. Anyway.
That's funny. Probably one of them Coloradans.
One of them Coloradans with their recreation. Anyway, Facebook Police here. Status. So I've been instituting water-saving techniques, including if it's yellow, let it mellow. However, my OCD tendencies are going nuts on this one. Is it even remotely sanitary? FB vote.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. So for those of you who may not know, California, we don't have any liquid around here whatsoever. Apparently, God hates us.
Our lakes are drying up.
Rivers are now just trickles.
It's rained this past week. It rained like twice, and that was the most rain we've had like all winter.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Children are in the streets,
I think,
crying, begging God for rain. Please.
Yeah, that's legit. I think the East Coast stole it with all their stupid snowstorms. Yeah. You guys are jerks.
But it's kind of hilarious because it's still.
Sorry.
Yeah. Dang it. We still have a bit of winter left, right? There's still, and so what struck me funny is some people just really like to be a part of the solution, even if nobody's asking them to be.
Well, no,
they don't really have to be there yet, right?
Our Governor Brown did say, flush the toilet less.
Governor Brown.
If it's brown, flush it down. If he ever gets impeached, that's going to be the motto. He actually was governor before in the 70s, before it was illegal to be a governor twice.
And I heard there was a drought then, too.
There was a drought then, too. And he actually did utter the phrase, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Hence, that's where it came from.
So that's a little bit of California history for you. What's that?
Did he coin that?
I don't know. It was the 70s.
It was the 70s. Who knows?
It's possible.
Wow.
But we don't really care.
But so that's good. It's good to want to help and be part of the solution. On my end, I've cut my baths down to 5 minutes, so that
good. That's good.
Conserve water
I've gone to Flushing twice every time now, just to rebel,
just to
against
stick it to the
I
man.
don't care. What do I care?
I just find it very disturbing this woman couldn't answer this question herself. I mean, obviously that wasn't the case. She wanted everyone to know that she's doing her part to save the environment, and also at the same time telling people she didn't really want to meet a man and settle down.
Well, I took the opportunity, against shameless self-promotion here, but I said, if you're super hardcore, you'll just save it and drink it right back down.
Oh,
you know the old saying, right? If it's good enough for Kevin Costner, it's good enough for you.
Pee in a tree, man.
Come on, man.
Drink it, dude.
Recycle, reduce, reuse.
It was filtered, though, a little bit. So
anybody hardcore, though.
Just pour it right into your gills.
That's right. Perfect.
See, I'm one of the few who actually likes Waterworld.
I love it. I love that movie. I loved it then. I love it now.
I do.
I love trivia about it.
You know trivia about it?
I love trivia about it. They had to import steel because they were in Hawaii, and Hawaii ran out of scrap metal.
Oh, really?
No kidding.
For that floating city. It's amazing.
No kidding. Wow.
Oh, it was the most epic thing ever. Instead, it was bikers on jet skis and biker gangs jet ski gangs. How cool is that?
Did you know Owen Wilson was in it? He was not in it, actually. But I do know that the tone of the water came from a sanitary solution that was come upon by a very young woman.
Oh, no.
That I shall not name.
Oh,
but she basically wanted to save water. They're in the salt water, and she peed just out into the salt water, and all the people started doing it.
Oh,
and it saved them, from actually having to filter and re-drink the same water. And
wow.
I have just wasted 45 seconds of your podcast talking about total crap.
Wow.
Why do you make stuff up?
That was impressive, though. It was a good line there for a while.
I know. Yeah, had me
and
going.
This has to deal with what again?
To lie, you have to lie like the devil lies, to lie convincingly. You start with the truth and you wrap the lie around it. So.
That's right. Christopher Battle says there's an article on BuzzFeed that's what children are drinking due to the water shortage. Is that legit, Christopher? That sounds suspicious.
He's been making them up the whole show.
Oh,
so
he is. Okay, I didn't see. Yeah,
but he's been customizing them, and they're pretty good.
Okay, never mind. So I got fool me once, but fool me twice. I don't know.
Don't drink the yellow water. That's all I'll say.
I think that's the moral here.
Heard it quoted. If it's on the internet, it's true. Abraham Lincoln.
All right. That brings us to our final segment. Weekly topic. This, of course, is the part of the show where we discuss a topic on a weekly basis.
James, I just got to ask, what does that music make you think of? Does it make you just kind of want to fight somebody?
It makes me want to find out if pee in your toilet is remotely sanitary. I really want to know. I've never seen anyone in a hospital scrub down toilets and sinks with urine.
Sterilized before going into surgery. Pee on me
So
real
it
quick.
may not be, you're scrubbing up and yellow stuff pouring down your hands. But
Hey.
no, your music's awesome. It's pretty cool. It made me want to bite something.
There you go.
Yeah. So this week's topic is we each chose our 3 top picks for the worst animated films we could think of. And I got a few. Quant, you've got a few. James, you've got a few. Who wants to kick things off? James,
James,
Are
you're the
we
guest.
going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like
Not it.
that? Like we can each say our
Oh,
ones, or do we
could
have
do
to
that.
all share at one time?
We did that last week.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Let's alternate.
right.
James, you can kick things off with your first. What's your first pick?
Well, I'm going to my third one because third one meaning my third.
You're building up to your number one.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
And
Yep,
I
me
also
too.
had rules. I used only ones I could think of on my own. Like I had experienced myself and really thought badly. I fought the urge to go online and find the worst ones and just pick one. So here it is from
that'd be totally
1992. It was a movie about an artist whose female character came to life, drew and tried to draw, or she drew him into her world, and then tried to take over his world. It was called Cool World.
Oh,
It was like an adult version of the Rabbit movie, you know?
Yes,
And it was horribly animated.
Oh
the
my
story
gosh.
was crap. She wasn't even hot. Jessica Rabbit all the way. And it had bad music. I don't even remember much about it other than I did see it in the theater.
You saw it in the
you know.
theater. Oh,
Yeah, I graduated in 91 and I wasn't allowed to see movies till I left my house.
Right.
So I was like watching everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Freddy, 3D, freaking everything. So
Yeah, actually, Cool World was kind of one of my bonus ones. Wasn't on my official list, but yeah, that I've seen that as well, and it was trying hard to be a raunchier version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Is it really?
Yeah, but like it goes pretty far. Where in Roger Rabbit it was innuendo. Cool World actually it happens. And
oh wow. I don't remember much about it. No, I don't. I remember her like doing that little sexy crawl thing with the finger, come here, boy. And I remember random characters just popping up and dancing around in weird places. Like echoes and copies of reused animation. It was ridiculous. So.
Yeah, that was the part that stuck out the most to me. Was they were on such a low budget that they recycled the same. It was mixed, just like Roger Rabbit. It was a mix of live action and animation, and they would recycle the same animation and just like randomly overlay it over the live action and have the characters doing the same exact thing over and over again. That's weird. Just to add like, oh, here's some animation elements to the movie. And I think, wasn't it Matt Damon in an early role?
Oh wow, yeah. I can picture it, and he was very thin.
Yeah.
But maybe it was him. I don't know.
I think it was, but I could be wrong. I get him and Marky Mark confused. I don't know.
That Marky Mark fellow.
That Marky Mark. No, I think it was Matt Damon. I could be wrong though. But
Brad Pitt, dude.
Oh, Brad, was it really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
What year was that movie?
All those young white actors look the same to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben Affleck.
That was that's a good pick. Quant, what do you have?
Well, unlike James, I had to Google this because my memory
cheating,
had to
dude.
be jogged of
cheating,
what I actually saw. Otherwise, I would have nothing. One here, Shark's Tale.
Oh, that
remember
is
that.
terrible. I can't believe that's not on my list. That is terrible.
Like you, James, I was at the theater and paid money to see this. I can't remember why we were there with a group of friends or something, why we chose to see this movie. And the only reason I didn't walk out is because I'm too cheap and I didn't want to, I'm like, I'm not going to waste my money. I'm going to stay here. But I fell asleep and I remember waking up at the credits.
Really?
And yeah, I actually fell asleep. I'm like,
was this the one with the whale wash?
Yes, it was the car
Yeah.
wash or whale wash or whatever.
Will
Yeah,
Smith was the shark or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And it was so bad. I'm like, no, I'm just going to take a nap. I don't really care about this.
I think I erased that one from my memory.
Yeah, which is why when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, I did see that, and that was.
Yeah, I think my kids saw it on Netflix like a couple months ago. So.
Yeah, I blocked it from my kids' Netflix viewing list.
Did it? Is this the one that had the shark that like had maybe some issues with identity?
I think that was Finding Nemo.
No. There's some shark in one of these movies that's like his dad doesn't accept him, and
I think so.
He
has like he's got
some
insecurity issues.
I don't know.
I don't remember exactly.
All I remember is Will Smith was a fish.
I've blocked most of it out of my mind, but yeah, that was a terrible one because it was like I can get movies, and this is my problem with a lot of DreamWorks stuff is like I can get movies that have like pop culture references here and there, but when the entire movie's humor is based on like pop culture references and the plot isn't
Shrek
strong. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my big problem with, I think, because I always compare like DreamWorks and Pixar because I love everything Pixar, and DreamWorks is really hit and miss. And I think what Pixar has going for it is they've got they're really good at the nostalgia. All their movies really capitalize on nostalgia, and DreamWorks really capitalizes on pop culture stuff, and it's not as timeless, and so it's just not as good.
I hate stuff about pop culture.
That's my sermon. I hate pop culture.
Pop culture.
I want to start a podcast that's against pop culture. Oh wait,
DreamWorks has an awesome opening little thing though, with the little dude with the Nemo guy, with the fishing pole, and then when it's in 3D, it swipes past your face, and your hand goes out, and you try to touch it. It's awesome.
Well, and they made what is arguably the best animated film ever, Prince of Egypt.
That was a good one. Yeah.
You didn't like Prince of Egypt?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it's not. I would not arguably argue that it is the best animation ever.
Okay,
ever.
But it has the best soundtrack, I think.
I think music-wise, yeah.
What has a better soundtrack? Oh, well, you're gonna say Toy
Little
Story,
Mermaid?
aren't you? No.
Little Mermaid is awesome. I own the tape. I
wasn't
played
as
it
epic
till
though.
It was static.
It wasn't as epic.
It was the seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. What's more epic than that?
Next on James Kennison does Jamaican accents.
Sings Disney tunes.
Yeah.
Dude, I know every song on that and other things. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, Calvin, what about you?
We'll agree to disagree. I hate Happy Feet.
Oh,
I hate Happy Feet.
I do too.
Was that
That's
a
the
DreamWorks
dumbest
or was that
thing
something
ever
else?
made.
I think it was a DreamWorks.
I can't
forgot
stand
about
Happy
that.
Feet, and there's a few reasons for that.
Motion capture.
Yeah, motion capture. Did they really? Was that what they did?
Had to have been them stupid feet.
It
You
was,
ain't gonna animate that by hand.
I don't know. They might.
You're putting on a chubby suit and you're dancing around in flippers, dude. With ping pong balls on your butt. That's what you're doing.
It was not endearing in any way. The penguins, I know this is going to sound racist, but the penguins all looked the same to me.
So racist.
It was so hard to tell which was which.
That and it was very showy offy. It was like all they were doing was trying to sing better than everybody. Like not even the characters.
Yeah.
Like the movie was trying to be like, I'm impressing you with amazing soundtrack and a cover of this song. And this, heavy chested penguins dancing around. So.
Yeah, and the ending was really weird. It wasn't
I don't even remember the ending.
It was. I don't want
It
to.
had live people in it, didn't it? At the
Yeah.
end, like looking at him through a
It
mirror.
had live people. I mean, okay. Spoiler alert. It doesn't matter because
Yeah, if you
it's a
haven't seen it
stupid
by
movie. So
now.
if you haven't seen it, don't waste your time.
Yeah, seriously.
But basically in the end, so the whole thing is all the other penguins sing, and that's how they do whatever.
Yeah.
They find their song.
Yeah, they all have a song, and he can't sing, but he can dance. So he dances, and that's shunned and looked down upon. But anyways, long story.
One of us.
They
As it should be.
go through all this stuff, and then at the end, basically, I guess they're in danger from the humans or something, and he somehow figures out how to communicate with the humans by dancing. He dances for the humans, and then the humans dance back, and that somehow communicates with them or something.
Totally do not remember that at all.
I could be making it up.
All I
'cause it's been
remember is
so
a
long.
big honking guilt trip about having, penguins in the zoo.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a
Okay.
big.
I remember Robin Williams was singing with an accent, and That's about
Again?
it. I know, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Robin Williams singing with an accent?
And it had some anti-religious undertones as well.
Penguins aren't known for their Christianity, that's for sure.
That's true. That's
more
true.
of an atheist
And I think
bird.
that
That's true.
really came out in this film. So all in all, I thought it had a lot of stuff I hated and not much stuff to like. So
Yeah.
It was still better than that Egyptian.
oh, shut your face.
It's on.
All right, James, we're back to you.
Oh, wow. Did I already say Cool World? Because it's due. It's due for another round. No, I'm going to take a lot of heat for this, but 1977 was not a good year for animation, and the next two that I mentioned come from that year.
Oh,
I was 3, 4, 5, 6. I was 4 years old when this came out. It is R.R. Tolkien's
Yes.
The Hobbit.
Yes.
Ooh.
I thought about
Great-
that one. Yes.
Great story, on and on and on. Worst animation, that typical we're going to freeze and just move the mouth for 15 seconds.
Oh, yes.
And then the battle scene when they're scrolling over all the orcs, it's obviously ray traced people.
Not even that. It didn't even look
It was
traced.
cheaper. It was cheaper, you can tell me, to put a bunch of guys on horses and trace a picture of them rather than just draw a picture of guys on horses with glowing eyes. It is terrible. Leonard Nimoy, awesome. The animation, little curly hair, terrible.
Yeah, the whole thing with that was like all the animation, unless it was just like the still frame with the mouth moving, was all traced over real actors, and that was supposed to be cool. But then, for the battle scenes, I don't even think they traced for some of those scenes.
It was frozen. It was like tons of frozen moments, or they do that cheater anime thing where it's where they just move every keyframe every 15 frames. They skip.
Well, I think I saw like some actual live action footage in there that wasn't even traced.
Yeah. Just silhouetted.
Yeah, just silhouetted or something. You just got
kidding.
lazy.
I'm going to have to go watch it. I've never seen this. I'm going to have to go check this out.
It's long and it's not very rewarding.
All right,
fair enough. I don't recommend it.
But it's good. I've got good memories of the story. I mean, that's how I was introduced to Precious and the whole deal. But yeah, pretty.
I had no idea that existed. That's amazing.
Oh, you didn't even know?
No, I had no.
Oh
no.
man.
Never
Well,
heard of
you're
it.
not missing much. It's all right. Especially now that we got the
Can't imagine
Peter
how that
Jackson
escaped me.
films.
That's true.
It's not really worth it.
That
Nice.
did set the bar kind of high.
It's got a great soundtrack though, better than that Egyptian.
Egyptian movie.
Leonard Nimoy sings.
Hate is gonna hate.
Does he do the Bilbo Baggins song in there?
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Oh,
Sounds a
that's
lot
great.
like Puff the Magic Dragon for some reason.
Bilbo Baggins.
That's funny.
All right, Quant,
Number two here.
What's your next cheater? pick?
No, not cheater on this
Okay,
one.
all right, good.
Might have been a great film. I'll never know. Hoodwinked. Here's why.
What? I like that one.
No, okay. It
wasn't bad.
No, okay. But it was bad for me, and here's why. 5 minutes into the
Were
movie.
you with me?
Oh, we were sitting
that's
right there.
Oh, okay. That's not the movie's fault.
It's
though.
not the movie's fault, but it was ruined for me, therefore it's awful.
Okay.
Is 5 minutes into the movie, your little brother was sitting there watching it with us, and 5 minutes in, he goes, "Oh, the rabbit did it."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we're
and
like,
by the way, you just spoiled it for everybody who hasn't
oh,
seen the
yeah.
movie yet.
Who hasn't seen it? It's 10 years old, so
Yeah.
get over it. So we're like, you went, Tim?
Yeah.
I like smacked him. And
What
then,
is this again? What's it called?
It's called Hoodwink.
Hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked.
It's the story of Little Red Riding Hood.
5 minutes
basically.
into it, my little brother
Full on.
gave away who the bad guy was. Just right into it. He was like 10 at the time though, so he got a couple.
Yeah, no. I mean, he
This is the one that has the retelling of the Robin Hood of the
Little Red Riding Hood.
Hood version from
Yeah.
all the different people's point of view. And,
Yeah.
and dude, that goat with the ram's horns. Dude, I loved him. I watched all the following movies just for him. His blind singing self. He was awesome.
That I
didn't
believe
make
Andy
a
Dick
movie
was
about it.
in one of the voices in that. which
It was a great movie, great plot and all that. But yeah, my little brother did spoil it.
Full on
little jerk.
done.
Although he's 18 today, as of this recording. He just turned 18.
It is his birthday today.
Yeah.
Oh, how timely.
I
So,
saw that
I think
picture.
it's time
He's
to
not
forgive him.
grown much.
No, yeah. Yeah. I wrote him some advice in a blog about what it means to be a man. He needed a little pep talk. I tell you what.
If it's brown.
Yeah, that was in my advice. Okay. Well, you can't blame. That's not the worst. I don't think that qualifies for worst animation, though. Okay.
No, I mean it's not. It's just
the quality
it's an
of the
animated
animation
film.
wasn't very good, but it was a good.
I mean, it was fine,
a good
but we're talking animated films, and
All right.
I'm really stretching here. So.
Yeah, this next one's controversial,
Oh,
Okay. All right.
and it's not one movie actually. It's a lot of movies, and it's 75% of Don Bluth's stuff. Do you know who Don Bluth is?
Yeah. Yeah. He made Fievel.
Yeah.
And Fievel Goes West.
Yes, he did.
And he made All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yes,
Thought
he
he
did.
was on Arrested
And he made
Development.
700 dinosaur movies.
Yes, he did. And okay, maybe 75% is a bit much, but he's made some. Okay. The ones you just mentioned, other than all the sequels to Land Before Time, are awesome. Those are all great movies. Fievel, American Tail, Fievel Goes West, all those are great. But he's made some terrible movies. In fact, he made the one Penguin movie that might be worse than Happy Feet.
Happy Feet 3?
No, The Pebble and the Penguin.
Never heard of it.
Never seen that
Never
one.
heard of it.
There's a reason for that. It's a terrible, terrible movie. It's just stupid. I can't even explain to you.
How old were you when you
dumb it
saw
is.
this movie?
Is the Pebble a metaphor for anything?
It's the symbol of the penguin's love for his.
Because they do that.
mate.
They pick out pebbles
Yep.
for their sweethearts.
Yeah, it's based on.
And they
on
ruin that? That's like God set that up. How do you ruin that?
How do you ruin penguins?
It's timeless. Penguins.
They come prepared for anything. They're dressed to a T.
No,
Dance.
They're always dressing up.
the penguins. That Pebble and the Penguin is terrible. He did. I just had another one. Thumbelina, another terrible one. Did you see that one?
No.
Terrible, terrible, terrible movie. They have singing in it, and like throughout the singing, they have this like one goat character or something that's super freaking annoying, and like not that one, and like sings off key, and it's terrible, stupid movie.
Wow.
And then he also did Anastasia, which was a good one.
Yeah. Never seen it, but I know of it.
The one.
Anastasia. That's
90s?
not a Disney movie.
Yeah.
The one they
that's-
recently put a new cover on to look like a Disney princess.
Oh,
girl.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
They try to sell it like she's a Disney princess, but she's nothing like your conventional Disney
She's an
princess.
imposter. Disney imposter.
And so Don Bluth, I have a love-hate relationship with because he's made some great movies, but he's also
And video
made,
games.
I didn't
Really?
What video game?
Yeah, he did Space Ace. And,
Oh, that's right,
previous to
okay.
that, he did the Daring,
Oh, you're right. The fantasy one.
Sword and Stone or Sorcery and Stone, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Minus 7 geek points, whatever.
Okay.
He dies a lot. That's all I know.
Okay, that's a point. So I'll put that down to half of his stuff. Maybe not 75%.
And All Dogs Go to Heaven, you said it was great. It's not. It's not as great as the other ones, mostly because of that singing crocodile.
Oh, that's
Let's
right.
make music together.
That's a creepy
Let's make
scene.
Sweet harmony.
That's a creepy
It's
scene.
Terrible.
That's good.
It's-
Good impression, though. Very nice. Keep
it's
going.
burned into my very soul.
Fantastic.
I do know heaven is a perfect 73 degrees because of All Dogs Go to Heaven, though.
That's
And it's
right.
pink.
I've always pictured it that way.
I was kind of hoping there wouldn't be mostly dogs there, though. But that's just me.
Yeah. I have a tiny little thing. One time me and my girlfriend, the one I'm married to now, we went to a movie and we went and saw Chucky 3, I think.
Oh.
And
Good
'cause
romantic.
we were good
film.
Christian kids that didn't see movies like that, so we had to come home and they're like, "What'd you see?" And I was like, "All Dogs Go to Heaven."
Oh no! Oh,
And my mom says, "Well, what happened?" And I looked at my girlfriend and we kind of grinned. And I said, "They went to heaven, and it worked." She bought it. Suspicious, evil, religious woman in the world. She let me off.
They'll be there when we die.
Nice.
Fantastic.
All right, James, you got one more?
Oh yeah, I do. It's from 1977. It has tortured my soul for many mathematical years that I don't know how to mathematicate. It is called Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure. And it is what they will be showing in hell when they run out of fire.
I vaguely remember that, but I think I might be thinking of one from like the
It
40s.
is the most psychedelic, crazy, hippie, drug-induced, scary, crazy, wacky. I mean, the characters, the toys, it has nothing to do with, I mean, Raggedy and Andy, you're going to make a movie about these two rag dolls. They're going to go to Rag World, or that sounds terrible, but Candyland or something, and they're going to dance around, and My Little Pony's going to come, and they're going to have an adventure, and they're going to save a little boy from his evil stepmom, and Rescuers Down Under is going to fly in and save the day. All this stuff's going to, no, they go into this crazy psychedelic world,
mental hospital
filled with crazy people that are trying to eat them, swallow them, kill them, destroy them. They blow a king up, a baby king,
a
baby king gets as big as the world, and they blow him up, and he explodes. Then it's the most twisted.
Wow,
the animation is scary. Just it looks scary. It's like sketches, and it's colored, and it's weird.
What year was this? Do you know what year that
1977.
was? 77. Okay, so another 77.
That makes sense.
And see, let me say my third rule was I picked no computer animated, because you said animated feature. I went cell shaded, by frame. But this one, if you watch it, you can see it in 9 parts on YouTube for free. You just skip through it, pray your way through or hum or whatever the heck you do. Make sure there's some sort of deity between you and this movie, and just work it through, man. You will not have fingernails, toenails, or hair by the time you're done.
Wow, I need to find this now.
What's the name of it again, James?
Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure. The colon is there because that's where the music came from. And it is full of crazy, weird music. Wow. And I did kind of go through it and got on YouTube and kind of rewatched it. And just to make sure it was weird, as I thought it was worse. And I remembered every song. It's terrible.
Wow.
It's a terrible movie, truly, in every way.
Well, yours leads into mine pretty well, because I don't know. It's that time period. Again, I'm a kid of the 80s, grew up watching Smurfs, and basically every cartoon had magic spells, potions, which, just like what was up with the 70s and the 80s with this like a cult that was going on.
They were trying to make our parents crazy.
I know, right?
It worked.
And mine also, which you can find on YouTube, and I've not actually seen this all the way through, but I've seen clips. Callan will probably know what I'm working up to.
Oh, I do. Yes, actually, I was just thinking of this.
I asked him. I texted him earlier today if claymation kind of works, and he said, "Yeah, it's kind of in that." But James, I don't know if you've ever seen, and again, it seems like it'd be this fun, hey, it's a little bit of history here. Let's learn a little something about the adventures of Mark Twain. Have you heard of this nonsense?
I have seen the clip in question.
Yes.
I have not seen the whole thing. No.
Lord in heaven, same thing. Whatever deity you need to have between you and that computer screen when you're watching it, and this is a 1985 thing, so not too far off of yours. But I don't know what acid trip.
Yeah.
Again, the animators and the claymation, but let's call it the Adventures of Mark Twain and Satan.
Yeah.
And so if you
demon, like a scarier version, like the devil's kids would be scared to watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. So, and I did, it is on YouTube, and you can actually in parts watch the whole thing. To be honest with you, have not worked up the nerve to watch the entire thing.
You haven't even worked up the nerve.
It's freaky. It's that freaky where I think I would wake up screaming in the middle of the night.
No, yeah, it is creep-tastic. Here's a little clip from it.
Yeah.
You can hear the audio.
Who are you?
An angel.
What's your name?
Satan.
This is in a kid's movie.
This is a kid's movie.
And
like a Saturday morning special.
The audio is that creepy, but watching the video, I'm the only one out of us who's actually seen this movie all the way through. I watched it a couple times as a kid.
I remember you saying
that. And I'm only somewhat scarred for life, but it was...
believe it.
It's just that one scene. The rest of the movie's weird, but okay. But that scene, That's nightmares, dude. It's freaking nightmares.
Like, who
it is
finalized
dark.
that? Who put their final stamp on that?
It's basically, it consists of Satan creating a world of little creatures and then smashing them to smithereens.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. All right, so that brings us to mine.
Can I add one more thing to Raggedy Ann and Andy real quick?
Oh, yeah, go for it, yeah.
Bring the tempo back up a little bit as I wipe tears of pure fear out of my eyes. Because that sounded like those backward masking crap your mom would play you back in the 80s, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, first, not Raggedy Ann.
Oh, like Mr. Ed backwards?
Thing, you know, I'm Satan.
Yeah.
You know, and then, like, don't listen to rock music. Okay. Anyway, Raggedy Ann and Andy, if you watch it, it starts in real time, like real people. This little girl, and she drops
action.
Raggedy Ann and all this. It is a precursor, an evil, dark, demonic version of Toy Story, which is the best animated film ever made. Right behind that would be that Egypt movie.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to do it one more time.
So I actually the Mark Twain one was a close contender for me for my top pick, and as was Cool World, but actually I'll go with Swan Princess. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with what's the name of that
Frozen
company? No, there's a company that makes like a whole bunch of basically Bible cartoons.
Oh.
But they're the most boring ones. It's not like Superbook.
I was gonna say Superbook's the only one I
Yeah, it's not Superbook, and it's not that Hanna-Barbera one where like David slays Goliath and there's blood everywhere.
Yeah. Flying House.
It's not Flying House. It's a lesser known one. I think it's called like Nest Media or something. But it is they're known for doing basically it was a Disney animator, and he like won the lottery or something, and so he invested his money in an animation company, and so the animation is pretty solid, but the movies they made of the Bible they were just kind of boring. They didn't really get your attention. And
Leviticus was the best.
And then they made this feature-length film that had nothing to do with the Bible called The Swan Princess, and was trying so hard to be Disney that it was kind of sad. It was well animated and all that stuff, but it was just trying so hard to be Disney. And like, what really gets me is the first scene. The message I got from the movie is basically arranged marriages are good. Your parents know better than you when it comes to choosing who you're going to marry, because it starts with the parents of this prince and princess want them to get married, and so the first act of the film is basically their parents trying to force them to like each other, and they hate each other until the hormones kick in, and all of a sudden they love each other.
Oh, it sounds like Downton Abbey.
Probably haven't seen that. That's Quant's territory.
What?
You watched that?
Actually totally true.
Well, it was a great reference. Trust me.
That was good. Actually,
was
it?
it?
Good pull.
My wife would get it. She watches it too, but. So yeah, it's just the message is pretty stupid.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, it really is. But actually, speaking of that, that's actually a bonus I had was Beauty and the Beast, because and I love Beauty and the Beast. Actually, when I was like a kid, my parents got me that on like VHS. It was like the first movie I ever owned.
And you dressed up as Beauty?
And I dressed up as Beauty, and I was a pretty princess. But if you think about that movie objectively, he's keeping her as a prisoner.
Yeah.
And she falls in love with him. Wow.
They didn't write the story. It's a tale as old as time. They had a freaking precursor built into the movie.
They changed the freaking ending. They can make that part.
Let me get this straight. You're taking a beloved childhood story that we all grew up with, and you're going full on Patty Hearst on it.
You know how I do.
They had a television show, a critically acclaimed television show in the 80s.
Yes.
About Beauty and the Beast, and it was all sci-fi like and
did you know they did a remake
Yeah,
that?
I did.
With the girl from Smallville who played Lana Lang. And I only saw like part of the first episode of that. But no, we used to love that 80s show. That was awesome.
Yeah, I turned right past that. I was too old to care.
But he wasn't keeping her a prisoner in that show.
No,
she would come down to visit the underworld where he lived.
Oh,
but in the Disney cartoon, he's keeping her. He imprisoned her father, and she had to do a swap of herself in order to free her father. And he keeps her prisoner, and then somehow they fall in love, even though he's still a jerk who's keeping her prisoner.
There's all these appliances that from
come to life
leftovers from Brave Little Toaster that need their lives back, and I think they should have a say. I think Lumiere or whatever the flip his little French name was.
Yeah.
he fixed it. He made it work. And there was a rose. It was romantic. You got a rose, man. That fixes everything.
Well, and there's one other problem with it. The rose. Well, there's actually so many holes in that movie. I could really go on, but okay, let's do the math here. Do the math.
Plot holes in a children's movie?
Yeah. No, but it's like the most beloved children's movie of all time, and it has so many.
Oh my gosh!
issues.
No, it's not.
It is
behind that
Egypt movie. Way more popular with kids than that.
Well, I don't know, but okay. So this is the one that won the Academy Award or whatever. Or was nominated, first cartoon nominated for Best Picture. But okay, so the rose, the last petal falls on his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
He's been there for 10 years. So he was 11 when all this happened. First of all, where were his parents? And what was with that fairy? She's supposed to be this good, beautiful fairy, enchantress. Why is she so vindictive towards a freaking 11-year-old boy? Yeah, he's a spoiled brat. He's an 11-year-old boy. Most boys are. You're going to curse him for the rest of his life, potentially?
Off of BuzzFeed or something.
No, this is truth. This is truth.
It is true, but here's the part that really sucks about that movie is when he turns into a human, I was like, dude, turn back into the beast.
Oh, I know. He was butt ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will accept.
You had more going for you, buddy.
A heck of a lot more than I will the freaky looking blonde dude. So worst prince in Disney history, if you ask
me. Seriously, he was way better as a beast. But then
Can I do some of my bonuses eventually?
Oh yeah. Let's hear yours.
All right. First, 1973, the year I was born. 40 years ago, Charlotte's Web is going to take some heat. I know. It is well animated. It is a good story. But it falls in the category that yours did earlier. It made me cry and hurt my feelings so hard as a child because, spoiler alert, Charlotte dies.
No.
And oh my God, it just, it was the first time that death really just, hit me. And I cried and I cried and I cried. I cried even when the babies came. And because they all floated away, they get you again. The babies come back, and you're like, "Oh yay!" And then they all leave, and then they cry again. Charlotte's Web. Yeah.
That is sad.
Harsh reality of life.
I never thought of that, but that is sad. Well, that's kind of the theme of the whole movie. Is like life is hardcore. If you actually watch it as an adult, that movie is all about life is hardcore. People have to kill animals to eat them. That's a fact of life.
And Wilbur's little voice is perfect because he's like the whole time he's like, I mean, he's 1 year old, in pig Latin, and he talks like that the whole time. So the rat was awesome, but the thing at the end horrible. My second one is Aristocats from 1970. Everybody wants to be a cat. It was a critical failure. It was a flop. The whole thing looks like it was printed out of a sketchbook. It's horrible. It's terrible. It's stupid. It has no memorable characters. And I'm sorry, but not everybody wants to be a cat. And there is a racist Asian chopstick playing character. Probably a few others too, but that one. Oh, it's just the worst part of the world. And then,
come on, that's a catchy tune.
What? Huh?
That's a catchy tune. Everybody wants to be a cat.
How does it start?
I don't know.
Exactly. That's the only part you remember because you saw the trailer.
I think it starts with chopsticks.
The only thing good about that movie is that they try to throw a bag of cats in the water.
Hey, that's and made a movie about cats. I can't see. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. I would say 2003. I did see this, and it was the worst. The worst. Brother Bear is just a dumb movie. I'm sorry. It's weak. I
still haven't seen it. Yeah.
It has no message. It's somebody. It's like
a Disney movie.
Ant Bully or any of those others. Like somebody tortures a bear, doesn't respect life, gets turned into what he doesn't respect, learns a lesson, gets turned back into people again.
Oh, that llama movie. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Any of them.
Yeah.
Freaking Avatar. Not all of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something wicked this way comes. That has nothing to do with it.
Vern Gully. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. James, it has been a pleasure and an honor, and we are running out of time. So thank you for joining us. Once again, everybody, you can check him out at mmdcast.com or nlcast.com, and he's awesome.
Yeah, really great to have you here, James. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us for this episode of Pop Mockers. Special thanks to Johnny Cowan and the Royaltons for our music. Thanks to everybody in the chat room for joining us as well. We want to hear what your choices are for the worst animated films you've ever seen. Let us know at popmockers.com/contact. And if you enjoyed the show, give us some love on the iTunes store for show notes, including links. And any links mentioned during the show, visit us at popmockers.com. And I am losing all of my windows. Here we go.
It's crumbling quick.
For comics, videos, and more original and entertaining podcasts, visit BreakroomStudios.com. What do you think of that outro song?